Hello, so my name is Alice Abrams, and today I'm going to talk to you about the human dimension of bass fishing tournaments. So together, Steve and myself partnered with Dr. Nathan Young from Ottawa U, who is an environmental sociologist, and together we created a survey of lake users about black bass competitive angling on Big Rideau Lake. And today I'm going to talk to you about some of the preliminary results. So competitive angling events have been happening for well over 70 years with a notable increase within the last 30 years. You can see in the top left corner, we have a Ranger bass boat from 1974, which saw the first live well to be incorporated into these boats. And so this live well has enabled tournament anglers to hold live fish on the boat throughout an event day, and then weigh the fish in at the end of the event day, followed by a live release. As you can see in the top right corner, you can really see how the technology has improved over the years. We have a common bass fishing angler's boat, which frankly can travel 50, 60, 70 kilometers an hour, miles per hour, excuse me, on the lake. And then in the bottom left corner, we have a fellow Canadian, Gussie, who has recently won the Bassmaster Elite Series in Tennessee River. He's holding up 2 smallmouth bass, which is also a common sight at a tournament where these fish are weighed in at the end of event day. The bottom right corner, you can see another common site where up to, let's say, 100 boats at a time can congregate within close proximity to a boat launch at the beginning of the day where anglers blast off. And then once again, they tend to congregate at the end of the event day where tournament anglers weigh in their fish for a cash prize. So the shared resources associated with this event, coupled with the conspicuous nature, really highlights this user group conflict, which is quite well known, however, over the years has been very understudied. So my PhD research is among the first socio-ecological study of competitive angling events. And we complete this research on Big Rideau Lake. So Big Rideau Lake is among the most heavily fished water bodies in Eastern Ontario, along the Rideau Canal system. And bass fishing tournaments occur regularly from season opener, third Saturday in June, as Dave mentioned, up until mid-October. Big Rideau Lake is also home to over 1,500 property owners. And so our objective of this study is to gain a better understanding of lake users' perspectives of competitive angling events. And so to do this, we used an online self-report survey using a broadcast method of obtaining respondents. So we targeted social media groups, as well as placing invites on trucks with bass boat trailers at boat launches. We also sent out emails to Big Rideau Lake Cottagers Association to invite them to participate as well. So generally, we were asking, what are the major concerns of lake users in relation to black bass populations and management in Big Rideau Lake? And so as you can tell, this is quite a general question. We basically have to avoid flat out saying we're interested in the conflict because basically we don't want to bias any of their answers. So we have questions in there about tournaments, but in general, the public saw it as a gaining better perspectives of their perceptions. So we obtained 230 survey responses and have qualitative and quantitative data as a result. So this first table is showing you our sample sizes. We have 4 main user groups that we're interested in studying. So we have our property owners on Big Rideau Lake who fish for bass. We have our property owners who do not fish for bass. We have a unique group, which are property owners who also participated in tournaments. And then we have non-residents who have participated in tournaments. So this first figure is showing you a Likert style question where we asked respondents to identify their level of agreement based on certain statements we provided them. So the first statement is interactions between cottagers and tournament anglers are sometimes tense. And so you can see on this figure, we have the dark red being strongly disagree up until the dark green, which is strongly agree. And so as you can see, there's a general consensus among all 4 groups that there is tension between these 2 groups associated with these events. So to look further into this, we asked, have you ever witnessed, heard of, or been involved in a disagreement or conflict between cottagers and tournament anglers? And if yes, please describe what happened and please state what you think could be done to address the disagreement or conflict. So over 50% of respondents did provide very candid descriptions of experiential conflict, and a lot of them I could not share with you today. But this one was interesting. It's a property owner who has also fished in tournaments. This person says, I no longer fish tournaments, but I get yelled at about once every year by someone thinking they own the water in front of their cottage. I do respect that lures can get caught on boats, ropes, docks, and that they don't want to have that they don't want to have that to contend with or risk their kids getting hurt. Personally, I would ask that they simply don't put those structures on public water. So interestingly enough, this respondent actually highlights the most frequently mentioned conflict amongst these groups, and that being the cottage dock and property shoreline. So basically 100% of the respondents mentioned this as an identified theme of conflict. So this is a very common image to many of you. From the cottager side, you see a shallow back bay with warm water, might be great for teaching your grandkids how to swim. But then from a tournament angler side, you see this incredible habitat that is like a bass condo and likely holds some large individuals. So some more identified themes are the early morning noise pollution. There's a perception of tournament anglers that they kill or harm fish. There's some issues around frequency of events and tournament weigh-ins. Interestingly, there's a conflict avoidant group where tournament anglers will avoid fishing areas of the lake due to negative interactions with cottagers. And then on the flip side, we have cottagers who are avoiding using the lake on event days. And then interestingly enough, the lowest identified conflict is actually from a scientist side, my biggest conflict, but that's a large scale displacement, which we actually address in my other chapter of my PhD. So there's further analysis to do on the open-ended questions, but I'm very interested to dig into some of the open-ended questions where we ask community members about their solutions to the conflict. We hope that this contributes evidence to support socially robust scientific knowledge and solutions. And our aim is basically to translate this scientific knowledge to community awareness. Thank you very much.